My bad.
We're never ready to go. We just went live, Ryan, and we're not ready to go.
I'll get him. Don't worry about it. So go for it.
Despite that rough beginning, thank you guys so much to what? I don't know. Okay, thank you so much for watching.
202.
Is that a fail cast already? God damn it!
It's already. It's 202. I was gonna call you Tony for a second, Jordan. That's such a good start.
Hello and welcome to the ShockCast, the ever professional, prepared, and ready to go at all times ShockCast. I'm your host, Georgie Menace.
So prepared.
Joining me today, Mr. Ryan Meitzer. How are you, Ryan?
Good. Well, you got that part right. You got my name right. So we're on a good track. So
you know, every once in a while that does happen to me, where I'm just like, I just start talking, and I do that when I do videos sometimes. I'm just like, all right, I'm ready to go, blah blah blah, and I'm just going like, bleh.
You mean when you're about to start something, be like, hey guys, and then you're just like, beep 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 beep,
yeah,
and you just brain just explodes.
The words they escape me, and I'm just like, what are we even talking about? And but yeah, thanks guys. First off, I have to apologize for Ryan's fault for not editing out the breaks of last week's ShockCast.
Awkward pauses as I fix my PS4 in the background. So,
yeah, or me answering the phone and literally just bitching about people calling me during a recording. Yeah, Ryan, how you been?
I've been good. I have to say, like, we're going to talk about it later, but like Bloodborne has really hooked me, and I've just been like thinking about it and playing it a lot. So, but yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, I've been playing it sporadically throughout the week, where I've been doing the Chalice dungeon, so it's like I get nice and deep into it, and then I get murdered, or just something discourages me. Where I'm one of those people where it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna call it, end it tonight, come back at this with a fresh mind, just a good night's sleep, and that's worked out really well for me.
I think what happened with me was like in the beginning of the game, I was getting my ass handed to me basically for the first like 5 or 6 hours, like against the cleric beast, trying to beat that. And then I think I basically just had like kind of like not like an epiphany, but kind of like the equivalent to like a Rocky training montage, where all of a sudden you get beaten by the guy so many times that all of a sudden you just get in the zone and you like do the and then like I trained and then eventually I beat cleric beast. It felt wonderful. I feel like that was just like when everything clicked, and now I just finished the 4th boss before we started, so I'm progressing in the game pretty nicely. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun so far. That game's been like occupying my brain the last like week. So
awesome. So did you find new releases, or should I pretend
I do have the new releases, so we can go ahead and get into that if we want. So for the week of April 5th, 2015 to April 12th, 2015, we have Etrian Mystery Dungeon for 3DS, Bastion for PS4, Monster Bag for PS Vita, Tower of Guns for PS4, PS3, and Xbox One, Aru's Awakening for PS4 and PS3, Elemental for PS Vita, Crinkle Crusher for PS4, PS3, and PS Vita. That best name so far out of all of these so far. It's pretty great. Stealth Inc. 2, A Game of Clones for PS4, PS3, and PS Vita. Also an excellent title, as Game of Thrones is coming back this week. Mortal Kombat X for iPhone, iPad, PS4, Xbox One, PC, PS3, and Xbox 360. Pokemon Rumble World for 3DS. Affordable Space Adventures for Wii U. WarioWare Touched for Wii U. Yoshi Touch and Go for Wii U. And Xenoblade Chronicles 3D. So a lot of good stuff coming out in this next week. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Bastion just because Supergiant Games has always been super nice to us. So and I love Logan, so it's like I'll give this game a plug.
They're awesome guys, especially because they're always at PAX every year and they're just so like easy to talk to and awesome. So yeah, Bastion's a good pick. When I saw it was out for PS4, I'm like I already have it on PC and 360, and like, but you know what? I wouldn't mind buying it again because
it even came out on iPad too. So it's like I feel like I've purchased this game. So it's one of those games where it's like, oh, it's on sale for like $1. Yeah, I'll buy it. I'll support it.
When it's been on Steam for like $3, and I'm like, okay, So. But yeah, I'm kind of split between Mortal Kombat X and Xenoblade Chronicles 3D. I think are my picks.
Right, Mortal Kombat. Good, so. No, I'm gonna stick with Bastion. You can have Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, we're probably gonna talk about it a little bit, but yeah, Mortal Kombat. I've never really been a big fan of the Mortal Kombat games, and not even like the reboot like kind of like got me interested a little bit. But X looks really cool so far. I guess because it's been so like they've been doing a lot of like Twitch streams with it, and it's been like they've been releasing a whole bunch of stuff within the last like couple weeks for the game. So it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I've never actually cared about like Mortal Kombat lore. I mean, I am a fan, but like the reboot last year, not last year, a few years ago, I just loved it because we spoke about it. We talked about it a bit last week, where it kind of does the Days of Future Past, where just like that convoluted like kind of dumb Mortal Kombat history doesn't count. We rewrote it, so don't even worry about it.
It just took the garbage can. It's like, hey, remember all these games? And it just shoved them right in, and it was just like, yeah. But it was pretty cool, yeah, because, I mean, like, even with all these character reveals they've been doing, where they show all these new characters, and everyone's, like, going crazy for, like, oh, yeah, like, Katana's back, or, like, like, Scorpion, whoever. I'm just like, whatever. I don't know. It's like, I don't really know any of them, but...
Demon Liu Kang, yeah! Okay, great.
I did get excited for Predator and Jason, because I think they're both very good fits for the game, so I'm excited for them.
All right. So Ryan, did you review anything this week? What are we going on? It's been a kind of like a slowish news week, I think.
It has, yeah. So, I put up my review, or my review went up for Life is Strange Episode 2. We already talked about that last week, though, so we don't really need to go into that. But short pitch, it's really good, and if you've been liking Life is Strange so far, it's definitely another good episode. Still, some of the like wonky writing is in there, which is probably my least favorite part of those games, just because like the way that they write things and say things like social medias and hella and all that is a little weird, but. It's still really good. It has a really good ending as well, which is really awesome. So I did that, and I also put up. I have a beginner's guide to Bloodborne. So if you're like me and have never touched a Souls game, but you want to play Bloodborne, you can read this to just kind of prep yourself and learn some of the basics.
And what's been your kind of your key advice? Let's say I picked up Bloodborne, no idea what a Souls game is. You say Souls, I'm like, oh, what's that? Coming in totally blind, what's your first piece of advice you give to a new player?
That's kind of what I tried to do with my guide. So I tried not to mention like I've never played a Souls game before. This is my first time with the series, so I tried not to like mention them a lot in the guide. Like I tried to go in just being like, here's this awesome game. It's really tough, but if you just my advice is just kind of persevere and push through it. That's like the biggest thing. I wrote a couple things in there also about how like you can one of the big things is like you should always look around every area for secrets because there's all these different shortcuts and loot and items you can find if you just kind of search around and dig a little bit. But probably the biggest thing is just don't give up because the game is hard, but I think if you just play it smart and approach it, cautiously and just kind of learn from, okay, I died for a reason. I died because I did the wrong type of attack. I didn't dodge right here. If you just kind of study like from your mistakes and learn from dying, then you can succeed pretty well in the game.
Yeah, I think my piece of advice would be if you're playing play online and read the notes. I found that the notes to be very helpful. As far as like spotting ambushes, especially if you're in a new area, sometimes just giving you small little tactics like lunge is effective, and you're like, oh, okay, cool, or fire or something, or just notes that say like don't give up, and I'm like, you know what, I won't.
That's great. Or the notes that you get when you're like right in front of a bottomless pit and they're just like jump in or like take us forward. Just like those are great. But actually,
the best is when you see it because you can rate them like fine, fine
or foul.
Yeah, and then most of those trolley ones are always fine. Like some people are like, I fell for it. All right, you can get it.
Yeah, it's great. But and probably actually one of the other things that's helped me a lot too is like every time I've been playing the game, I've been streaming it pretty much every time. So one of the things that's helped me is I actually I'll go back onto Twitch and I'll watch my past archives so I can kind of watch boss fights that watch my failed attempts over again so I can kind of watch and see what the bosses are doing. So I'm kind of like, okay, so if I'm fighting Bloodstar Beast, like he's gonna do this and I should try and do this, and if I messed up, I'm like, okay, I see what I messed up. I dodged when I should have attacked, or I attacked when I should have gotten out of the way when he slashed my face. So that's something that's helped me.
Football player watching the tape on Monday mornings.
It's pretty much, yeah. It's just like drawing circles and lines and like, oh, I should have juked to the right and whatever. But yeah, no, that game's really fun, and it's definitely a lot of my friends that have played previous Souls games have said that they just kind of get into your mind. Like you just think about them, and you're always looking at guides and things like that, and I think that helps. But yeah, so that was my editorial that went up this week as well.
Yeah, that's good. Like I said, the notes are always helpful. Like I have one note. Do you know what the notes do when someone rates your note fine? Like what's the positive effect that has on you? Because I would see that sometimes it goes, your note was rated fine. I'm like, awesome. Because I know I believe in Dark Souls when someone rates your note, you get health back. Like your health just bam, full health.
Oh, cool. Okay. I don't know really for sure, other than like maybe they pop up more frequently in other people's games or something like that. But other than that, I don't really know like specifically what they do. But that's pretty cool. That I didn't know they do that. So in the previous games, but
yeah, because I try to leave good notes, especially if I find something in an area where there are no existing notes. Then I'm just like, you know what? I need the ego boost, so I always do that area. That guy that gives you the flamethrower near like the first lamppost in like Central Yarnum. I put a little note that goes, like, literally says, talk to this guy, and he gives you a flamethrower. So that I noticed that's probably the note that keeps getting me likes, I guess. I don't know, hella likes on.
I did. Hey, this is Bloodborne, not Life is Strange. So, but yeah, it was actually funny. I got a couple of notes where someone rhymed, and I was like, that's impressive. It was like that you were able to string those together. That they were able to rhyme. Like that was pretty good. So.
Like a rogue poet, just as he's like going through Yharnam.
It's like a bloody werewolf puppet, and it was great. So
that's awesome. Yeah, let's go through some news. Don Matrick, the famous Don Matrick, who said, "Go get over it." To people asking, "Hey, is the Xbox One going to be backwards compatible?" Like, we have a system for that already. It's the Xbox 360. God. What if you have no internet? I don't know. Go move. Like, no, you did it wrong. He is stepping down as CEO of Zynga, and Mark Pincus is taking over his position. In fact, he's going back to his position as CEO. So,
did this just happen today?
That just happened. Semi-breaking news. This happened maybe like an hour ago, 3 hours ago.
As I was on the bus home, I was seeing all these like pictures on Twitter of Don Matrick and like no explanation. I was just like, what? Like just all these pictures of like him and Pincus just like next to each other, and I was like, I'm missing something, but okay. But now that makes sense. So.
But yeah, a lot of, the press release was basically a lot of PR speak. Where, Don joined us in a very important time of evolution. I sincerely thank him for his leadership in better serving our players in the mobile-first world and delivering world-class quality and value to our consumers. The team's hard work for our mobile players have resulted in bookings growing from 27% mobile bookings when Don joined to 60% by the end of last year. Those are literally just a string of words and numbers that I can't decipher. But him and his team at Natural Motion have surprised and delighted the world with Clumsy Ninja and CSR Racing, resulting in more than 160 million installs to date. That is a lot of people downloading something.
Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah, blah. Mobile, those filthy casuals. What do they do? Blah, blah, blah. Zynga's a big company. I'm trying to look for the reason as for his departure, but it just kind of looks like he just sort of left and resigned. Yeah. So who knows, man? There's like a certain contingent of like high-level executives that just kind of float around the industry and just take these like CEO positions at different publishers and different companies, and we're just... I don't quite know what they do or the type of impact they have in like product development or stuff being released. Usually these people do – the reason people do well and keep finding work is that they know how to release a product. It's like, nothing stays in the developmental phase for so long. It's just like we have something, we have a timetable, all right, it's released. So
you're talking about the Phil Spencer method where he just kicks down the door and he's like, okay, all this stuff we don't need, just get rid of it and just get it out. Yeah. Like it's basically.
Yeah, I mean, well, when Phil Spencer came into kind of like course correct the Xbox One and more or less Microsoft in general, their game studio. Yeah, I think it was his role was a little bit differently. Where it's like, hey, the product is out, we do not look good, and we need to close this gap because the PS4 was a monster. Like what happened with the PS4 is clearly a phenomenon. Like it was just a rare thing. Like Haley's Comet. Like selling that many the new consoles is insane. And Microsoft, they sold 7 million at first, which is a lot of systems, but compared to like the 17, 18 million PS4 had, you're like, oh man, these people are screwed. And it's like, no, that's still a lot of systems. I mean, still better than how the PS3 and the Xbox 360 did when they launched. So his job was to just close that gap a little bit, which which is what they ended up doing, and just fixing some of these really weird policies and just having better communication with the consumers and the press and all around. So yeah, Don Matrick, hardly knew ye. I'm sure he'll find a job at some other big company. So I'm more than certain about that. But yeah, Don Matrick, like I said, his kind of I feel like his legacy was a little bit tainted in how he left Microsoft.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, you don't make fun of the people who potentially want to buy your system. Like, you're already starting from behind. It's insane.
I mean, Microsoft has a history of that, of people under their employ that have done that. So,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah. And like I said, Microsoft now, I appreciate where they are now because, you know, it was kind of like a growing pain. Like, they needed these black eyes to get where they are now.
Yeah.
You know, with the way they've been rolling out updates and just really being upfront with all the changes and stuff that's coming to the Xbox One, like, I kind of commend them on that because you don't see many big corporations taking that kind of stand and, you know, just trying to. And, you know, no, I think being in second place is very humbling for Microsoft, which they haven't had to do in a while.
Right. I think, yeah. I think, again, because Sony's been through that, in that position before, because they had that, you know, they had that with the PS3, you know, where Microsoft, you know, they were in that position only a generation ago, so now Microsoft kind of has to do the same thing, you know, now. You know, which is good. I think it's showing that they're trying to be community oriented. They're trying to think of consumers, like, rather than before where I think they weren't quite thinking like that, but, you know.
Yeah. Brian, I've got some big news.
What? New Smash Brothers? New Amiibo?
Shut up. No, I'm not. I refuse to talk about anything Nintendo. Oh no, we'll talk about Nintendo in a bit. But no, I meant Deus Ex: Mankind Divided was announced today.
So it's a good thing you said this because if I did, I would have said it the old way that I thought Deus Ex was pronounced, which is Deus Ex, which is what I thought it was.
Which, you know, it might be. I mean, I've heard that pronunciation before, and when I hear it, I'm like, that has to be wrong.
I think when I was in like middle school or like high school, I used to think like Deus Ex was the name of it, and then someone was like Deus Ex. I'm like, no, it can't be that. It's got to be Deus Ex, like, you know. But,
well, I like Deus Ex because it just sounds a little bit more like dramatic.
It sounds cool, yeah.
Yeah, like it's all future-y and stuff. But yeah, maybe you can kind of shed some light on this. So Square Enix had this really weird live stream happening with a guy in a room and.
Yes.
I don't.
Over the weekend, Square Enix on Twitter, they tweeted out, said that, hey, we have this new project that we're working on called Project CKP was the code name for it. So they announced on Monday they were going to start this 3-day live stream event through their Twitch. It was twitch.tv/can'tkillprogress was the name of it. So they used this like hashtag #can'tkillprogress.
Okay. Which is already sounding, and I guess when that hashtag, people were like, oh, it's probably a Deus Ex, you know, future-y.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So Project CPK can't kill progress. So what I was gonna say, like, right from the teaser image that they tweeted out, like it was like this like futuristic looking chair. I looked at that and I was like, Deus Ex, it has to be. So it was like not that big a surprise. So it was basically this live stream of a guy in a room for 3 days. Basically, was what it was. So they would basically, I think there was, like, because there were, like, multiple cameras, so I think what you could do was, like, there were people that could, like, type in the chat and say switch camera, and then it would, like, go to different angles or whatever. But basically, it was this guy that was in a room, like this, you know, like, sleeping most of the time, or, like, meditating and doing stuff. Sometimes there would be these, like, I like, tuned in sporadically sometimes. I would just go in, check and see if something interesting was happening. And there's one time where he was being, like, interrogated, so these, like, guys, like, beating the crap out of him in this room. And then these like guys drag him out of the room and like, you know, like,
was this live action or?
I have a feeling it was probably done in advance, and then they just have it set to make it appear that it's live or whatever. But because I don't know how they could have pulled it off like live, but if they did,
like
that'd
stage
be awesome.
Show, that would have been great.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. So I have a feeling they probably just had it like, you know, done before, and then they just switch where they need to or whatever. But yeah, it was pretty cool. So, it was yesterday that before the event ended today. But this Russian site leaked details about the game, and it's called Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. So, kind of took the wings out of their sails a little bit before they finished this. But then, it was this Russian site, and then Game Informer did.
Yeah, I mean, the Game Informer had the exclusive, and of course it gets leaked. So Game Informer's like, oh, okay, fine. I guess we're gonna move up our announcement.
Yeah. But yeah, and then today they did the official announcement from Square Enix, so they revealed the trailer and the box art and everything. It's coming to Xbox One, PS4, and PC, and it looks like it's a sequel to Human Revolution, which was the most recent one a couple years ago that released.
Yeah, so it looks like same character, Adam Jensen's back. He's the I didn't ask for this, that guy.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, let's see. I'm just looking at Giuseppe's post right now. The years 2029 and mechanically augmented humans have now been deemed outcasts, living a life of complete and total segregation from the rest of society. Now, an experienced covert operative, Adam Jensen, is forced to operate in a world that has grown to despise his kind. Armed with a new arsenal of state-of-the-art weapons and augmentations, he must choose the right approach, along with who to trust, in order to unravel a vast worldwide conspiracy. And it looks like there's going to be the Human 2.0. It's just, you get new body parts, you get the upgrade them anyway. Anyway, it's Deus Ex. I would assume the play style will not change much. It's gonna be
it'll probably still be
an open world first person shooter where you RPG elements and you can jump off buildings and glide down.
And stealth as well. So I'm sure stealth is going to be a big part of it too. But it sounds like it's coming out this year. From what it sounds like. I don't think they announced a specific release date, but it seems like it's probably on track for. Yeah, I think the good thing, I saw someone tweet my feed that was pretty funny, where it was like, I said at least it won't be an 8-year gap between games. So I'm sure it'll be. I think it's nice that they're working on a new Deus Ex, and that so soon after because it's only been Human Revolution came out 2011, I think.
Yeah,
so
correct.
It's been a couple of years. So I'm glad that they're not keeping fans waiting, and that they're going to push out new, because Deus Ex they don't release as frequently as Hitman or any of the other series. So.
No, I'm glad. I mean, I'm a real big fan of Deus Ex, and Human Revolution was an amazing game. And,
actually,
if you ever get around to it, it's always I think it's always on sale on Steam, so that's always a really cool game to check out.
I have it in my backlog, and I think now that Mankind Divided's been announced, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna finally jump into the game. So I'll probably keep a lookout. Maybe I'll do some streaming once I'm done with Bloodborne, obviously. But
obviously. But are you ever really done with Bloodborne, Ryan?
I hope so. Eventually. So whether I die or
Yeah, I'm kind of at not my wits end with Bloodborne, but every once in a while I find myself like, I think I'd just rather play something else.
You just need a break. Yeah, I was gonna say it's not an easy. I saw there was a great tweet from it was Neil Druckmann on Twitter where he said, "Oh, I just finished Hotline Miami 2. Wrong number. That was a stressful game. I'm gonna go chill out now." And he tweets a picture of Bloodborne. And I'm just like, "Are you kidding me?" Yeah, pretty great.
No. Oh, so I heard nothing. I was like, oh.
I know, I'm done. So.
Ryan, The Witcher 3: Wild Hunt. It's got some free DLC, which is great. It's got 16 pieces of free DLC.
It's got a lot of free DLC.
Yeah.
That's not a small amount. That's a lot. So.
That is more than a handful. Also, they've announced 2 expansion packs worth over 30 hours of gameplay.
That's like a full game.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of content. Yeah.
There's some times where I'm just like, why do we need more? The game's gonna be like 1 million hours long. You're gonna give me this is just another 30 hours. Why not? But it turns out the internet did not react the way we thought they were going. I mean, I'm not surprised with how the internet reacted.
I'm not surprised, but I do feel like it is kind of like, especially because CD Projekt Red has been so generous and kind of outgoing about we want to make sure that consumers are getting their money out of this, and so they're that they're even offering 16 pieces of DLC free in the first place. But I understand it's cool that they're even doing this additional content. But the good thing is this DLC, it's not going to be day one DLC. It's not going to be
they just announced that they're going to have 2 expansion packs.
Right, they announced a month before the game's coming out, and so this DLC probably won't be out until later this year, it's additional content. It's not content that they're cutting from the main game and then trying to sell as day one DLC or season pass stuff. I'm sure this stuff will probably come under a season pass or something. But
yeah, I mean they said Hearts of Stone will be released in October, and Blood and Wine will be released in the first quarter of 2016. And I guess the argument from some people online is why can't this be included in the main game? But I think a lot of the issue is people not actually reading the article, and I think a lot of people think it is just day one DLC that they can, that's why don't just include it in the main game? And it's no, that's not how the content schedule works.
Yeah, no, this is clearly supplementary content that they're producing for the game after release, which is totally fine with me, especially because then they said it's 30 hours. That's ridiculous. That's another game basically. So that's totally on top of a game that's 200 hours. So.
Yeah,
and a crazy amount of content.
Yeah, and CD Projekt Red has always been so so just consumer friendly, and
right. Yeah.
These are people that their game has no DRM. Meaning, like, if I buy the game, hey Ryan, you want my copy of The Witcher? Sure, you can just download it. Here's the launcher.
Yeah, basically.
Which I always like, because this you need to reward the people who actually pay for your game.
It shows trust in the consumer, which is the good thing. So yeah.
And the more people playing your game, the better, because it's like, hey, you know what? If I like your game, maybe I'll pay that. If I did pirate your game and I really liked it, then you know what? Maybe I'll buy your DLC. And it looks like I lost Ryan. Ryan, are you there, Ryan? Ryan?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry. Hello.
Ryan! Dun,
I'm here. Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay. All right. Cool. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
All right. Awesome. So yeah, The Witcher, like more DLCs coming out. And
That's pretty awesome. So
more Witcher. I'm okay with that. Completely.
Me too.
And all right, we're gonna talk about Nintendo. I'm kind of annoyed.
I mean, your title says Rare Amiibo, so.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about Mewtwo? I guess we'll go into Mewtwo.
Hold on. Should I grab some friends to join us for this section? So give me 1 second.
Tell Francois to stay home. Oh Christ. He's gonna pull out an Amiibo, isn't he? He's gonna. I know it. I know it. All right, just get it over with.
I grabbed some friends to join us. So we've got Toad, who I just got today. Actually, I got Toad. I got Yoshi. I've got Mega Man. I've got Diddy Kong. So you asked for it. I mean, so where are we? So.
All right, Ryan, how do you feel about Mewtwo coming to Super Smash Brothers on the Wii U and 3DS?
Is this painful for you to talk about?
Is Mewtwo a big deal?
I'm excited about it. I mean, well, he was announced before, but it is exciting that he is coming this month, which I'll be looking forward to playing. And they also announced that Lucas will be coming back, so it's nice to see. Who
the hell is Lucas?
He's from Earthbound. If you played Smash Brothers and liked Nintendo, you would know this, but obviously you don't. So it was like.
No, I've never. No.
Yeah. But yeah, he was. Mewtwo was previously in Super Smash Bros. Melee, and Lucas was previously in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. So, and then also Nintendo opened up a survey type thing on their website to vote for who you want to be in the next Smash, which has been probably one of the funniest things I've been able to read in a long time. Because, I just went on Twitter and just searched # Smash Ballot. I've seen probably some of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life through there. It was great.
I've seen Frank Underwood from House of Cards. I've seen Brock Lesnar from the WWE.
Yeah, it's been pretty great. There's a whole coalition of people trying to get Waluigi in the game. It's pretty great. So
I've seen Bill O'Reilly.
If you have a couple hours to kill and you just want a good laugh, search # Smash Ballot on Twitter and you'll find some pretty amazing entries.
I saw one that was my neighbor Greg, and it's why? Because he's a jerk and he's. I told my friends that whoever works at Nintendo and has to sift through and go these things must be having the time of their life. This is probably the greatest thing you could have given them to go through. You know what it is? I think Nintendo's smart, because I think under normal circumstances they're just inundated with dumb Super Smash Brother requests where it's just
let's get it out.
It's basically just write your suggestions and put it in this box here, and then then the sign is covered, because when you take the sign off it says garbage, and they're literally just saying, ooh, Waluigi, yeah, put him in here.
They probably have all the their DLC. I'm actually, because I'm surprised that they're doing, because Lucas was kind of a surprise. I wasn't expecting them to do multiple DLC characters, but obviously they have the intention now of releasing more characters for the games, which is cool. I'm glad, even if I mean, a couple people, I know some people have been bummed that so far they've only announced previous characters. They haven't announced anyone new yet, but I'm sure hopefully maybe we'll get 1 or 2 new characters. But I'm sure they probably have this planned out, and so this whole thing's just kind of you know what, just let people have fun. Let them pretend that they're gonna get someone and
because they're not bombarding our Twitters with stupid fucking requests for just put Bowser in this.
Yeah, the garbage can.
Or something. And I was no, just shut up.
They're just all right, all those people that want Goku and Smash, just tell them to just put their things in here, and then they'll get it out. So,
yeah. And the ballot box,
aka it's in the garbage. So that's what Mega Man wants you to vote. So he wants you to put in the game. So yeah.
You should bring back the ice climbers. Like, no.
I got bit by the amoeba bug, and I've been collecting them now. It's been terrible. So it's like because the thing is, like, I work like 3 streets away from Nintendo World, and now I just found myself like sporadically going there once in a while. I'll be like, let me see if they have amiibo that I want, and I go in there, and they do, and I'm like, well, I'm buying another one. So it's like,
okay. So speaking of amiibos, looks like we got some more coming.
We do, and pre-orders for them sold out like that. So like as they always do. So I watched Boogie 298's latest Francis rant video, which is about Wave 4 Smash. It was pretty much what I feel like most people feel like about Amiibo. So
now, okay, should we? Who in July we've got?
I need to pull up the list because I don't know specifically.
I have them here. It's
okay.
Christ, it's July brings Kid Icarus themed infusion when Pit and his patron goddess Palutena join the Super Smash Bros. Colleagues. They're characters, I assume. Pit and Palutena.
Pit's already out. No, I think you're looking at the wrong list. Hold on, because those are not the amiibo coming.
Well, no, there's Dr. Mario. Then September is Dr. Mario, Ganondorf, Samus. Without the suit.
Well, in May actually, there's a whole new. Oh, so in May, we're getting Robin and Lucina from Fire Emblem, Pac-Man. Okay. Yeah, they're coming. I think May 29th is when the next wave comes in, Wave 4. So there's Robin and Lucina from Fire Emblem, Pac-Man, Wario, Ness from Earthbound, and Charizard are the next 6 coming. And then after that, there's also Greninja, there's Mr. Game & Watch, Dark Pit. There might be a couple more after that. I don't remember.
Yeah, I see September here is Olimar, Zero Suit Samus, Ganondorf, and Dr. Mario. Are those already out? Or?
No, those are coming.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not. But pre-orders went up last week for the Wave 4 ones that are coming in May, and they sold out very quickly. Or most places, like some places still have them, but the problem is like a lot of the... with the retailer exclusive amiibo. So Ness is exclusive to GameStop, and GameStop's site actually crashed because of the demand for people trying to go on and get them. And yeah, that's the big problem is that, like, with especially these retailer exclusives, is like demand is just so high that just it can't, Nintendo doesn't produce enough of them. So
yeah. And are they doing just like these single runs of it, meaning like once they're done with Zero Suit Samus, are they not making any more?
They've said in the past that they're like, some figurines will be probably in that case where they know that they're going to be like they're probably not going to sell as well as like some of them they'll keep in stock forever, like Mario, Pikachu, they'll always like probably have them available, but ones like Zero Suit Samus, they'll probably only do maybe a couple runs. Some of them, like they said, because actually Marth was one that's been really hard to find for a while, but they're actually doing.
So they're like not re-releasing, but they're doing like a different version Marth.
They might just they might do other not printings, but just new shipments of them like once in a while. So like Marth, they're actually going to be restocking in this month or next month for the new 3DS.
Because it says here they are doing a new Marth, but it's different from the original one. It's going to be a new pose and a new it's a new figurine entirely, but it's going to do like the same exact thing as the original. Meaning when you scan it onto your dumb gamepad, it'll come up as Marth in that position, but when you're playing with on Super Smash Bros, all the skills and stuff will be the same, but it can differentiate which
I didn't know
which.
I didn't know that.
So it looks like they are going like that collector route where it's like they're forcing rarity. And
stuff. Yeah. I mean they've already been doing that with like the gold Mario amiibo one that came out last month, and AKA when you could just get a regular one and just spray paint it gold, pretty much is what you can do. But,
so that means so as an avid amiibo collector,
I wouldn't say I'm avid, but okay, go on. So
do you recommend people buying, if they have an opportunity to pick up a Zero Suit Samus or a Ganondorf, to get 2 of them, one for play, and then kind of like with comic books, bag and board it, just you get 2 copies. This is for me. This one
and
is
then one for
collectors. I can trade it.
I mean, if you're into amiibo collecting, I am not. Like I'm only getting the one, like the characters that I really want is basically like I'm very casual about it. I'm just looking out for like specific ones that like oh yeah, I want the I want the Mega Man one because the Mega Man one's awesome. And I've got Diddy Kong because I love Diddy Kong's one of my favorite characters. So No, I'm just getting it for those. Like the only one I haven't gotten yet that I really want is Pit, but Pit's really hard to find. So I'm at this point, like I really don't want to spend $50 on eBay to try and get him. So that one I might just give up unless I just happen to see one. But
okay. And it looks like Splatoon will be getting their own set of amiibos on May 29th with the Inkling Girl, Boy, and Squid. And when used in their game, they will unlock special missions that reward the player with unique weapons and gear. And finally, out of the Nintendo Direct. They are adding it's Mario Kart 8. Oh, I just scrolled past it. They're adding Mario Kart 8 200cc tracks, which is
going to be nuts.
Super fast.
Yep, that's going to be nuts. I was going to say, there's actually also, back to the Amiibo really quick. They're releasing.
It all comes back to Amiibo.
They're releasing the Yarn Yoshi Amiibos, which are a set of they're basically like small plush toys, and I would say they look adorable, and I might get one or two of them, or to 18 of them, depending however many they release. So
that's fair.
Because they're made of yarn, George. They're made of yarn. Like
no, I get it. I mean, my early 20s was consistent of buying just dumb video game tchotchkes, so I know exactly what you're talking about. So when I moved, I had to purge all this stuff, and that broke my heart. So yeah, you can buy all this bullshit you want, Ryan, but you know what? Give it another couple of years, and when you're changing apartments or moving to a new place, and you're like, I can't bring all this crap with me. I have no place to put it. I'm not gonna feel bad for you when you have to toss all the garbage.
But honey, where am I going to put all my 18 plastic toys? Like, put them around. But,
you can put it in this box I marked valid for Super Smash characters.
Yeah. But yeah, basically. Yeah, I'm sad that Amiibo will probably go the Beanie Baby route where everyone will just hoard them and then they'll be worth not a lot, but But
I'm done with Nintendo. Ryan.
Yes, George.
I'm just done with Nintendo. Five Nights at Freddy's is being turned into a movie, and I'm horrified.
Supposedly, yeah. As I say, the amount of heart attacks that will happen in the theater will be very high. So.
Oh man, yeah. Let's see. It's if you haven't played Five Nights at Freddy, you play security guard, where essentially you're a security guard at a Chuck E. Cheese type place, and the animatronics come to life.
They are trying to kill you, is more like it. So.
The studio is actually looking for a writer for the Five Nights at Freddy movie, but let me see what the name of the studio here.
It's Warner Brothers is the one that's looking to produce the movie. They bought the rights to produce a movie. There haven't been any actors or directors or anything announced yet, but they've had producers from a couple production companies.
According to the Hollywood Reporter, it's going to be co-produced by Roy Lee, who produced The Ring. Seth Grahame-Smith, who did Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, and David Katzenberg, who did It.
Seth Grahame-Smith is actually the writer of Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter and Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, so I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. So they got him on board. So
it's that potential. I totally watched that movie.
Yeah, I would say most game when I hear most games getting movie adaptations, I just kind of cringe. But this one I'm kind of that'd be cool because other than because Resident Evil and Silent Hill are the only game horror movies I can think of, and they're not that great. So this is one I think could be fun, and especially because I feel like this is one where if Warner Brothers can actually give them a low budget, that would help them. I feel like if they can make it more schlocky and kind of low budget, it would help in this case because it totally would fit the vibe of the games. So.
It'd be a really good found footage movie where it's just all do it all through security cameras also and see how that works.
You just take Paranormal Activity, you throw in some animatronic bears that pop in around the areas, it would be great. So
that's awesome. And finally in news, Ryan, we're going to go back and talk about Mortal Kombat. And
oh, actually, you know what? Really quick, I think for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, they should cast PewDiePie and Markiplier and all the YouTubers that that are the ones that have been streaming this game. They're the ones that get killed by the bears. It would be awesome. So anyway, that's it. I'm done. Sorry I interrupted you. So
sounds like you have an anti-YouTuber agenda, Ryan.
No, I'm just saying I thought it would be fun. It's you see PewDiePie go in and say, "Hey, what's up, bros?" And then all of a sudden he just gets slaughtered by an animatronic duck. I thought it'd be funny. So.
And then breaking news: Dead or Alive for the PC. Someone did a Shenmue edition mod for Dead or Alive 5 last round, and it looks awesome.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Basically, it's it looks like the Shenmue dojo, and you're playing as a Ryo, and it looks neat. Yeah. You can check out the post on our site, and we have links to the actual mod itself. So if you have Dead or Alive on the PC, you can take a look. that just looks kind of hilarious. And finally, the last bit of news: Mortal Kombat just revealed a fantastic
Mortal Kombat X. So.
X. 10, Ryan. It's 10, not X.
10? No, it's X.
It's X. No, I know it's X. That's why it's nuts. It's 10. God damn it! Don't. Anyway. They showed Cassie Cage's second fatality.
It's pretty ridiculous, like even by Mortal Kombat standards. So should you describe it really quick before we go on?
Okay, so Cassie Cage, daughter of Johnny Cage, her fatality, I believe she rips off the mandible of the person she's fighting, right?
She takes a nightstick and she bashes them in the face with it, and then it rips off their mandible. Yeah,
the mandible flies off, but to add insult to injury, because the person's dying. What more can you do to him? She turns around, takes a selfie of her and the person lacking a mandible, and then posts it on their version of Facebook that gets commented in real time by other Mortal Kombat characters and her Facebook friends.
It's also pretty great too that the top left of the fake Facebook says friendships on it. And it's pretty great because it's a good little nod there. So yeah, it was I've been enjoying seeing all the video and stuff they've been showing in this game, because they've there've been a bunch of places that have been streaming it on Twitch and doing a bunch of live streams and stuff. It's been pretty cool. Because the game's out next week and there's still all this stuff that they're showing for the game before it comes out. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm thinking about recording a series of videos just running through the Mortal Kombat single player.
Yeah.
In preparation for Mortal Kombat X, because I'm a huge fan of that single player, and that kind of brought me back to fighting games, or at least Mortal Kombat fighting games, and made me real excited when Injustice: Gods Among Us came out, the DC fighting game that they made.
Yeah.
Which also had another fantastic, felt like a long episode of Justice League. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that next week, just because that single player is going to be great. I'm probably not going to play online too much, but like I said, I like having a fighting game in the house in case I have people over, and you always have that person who's like, oh, I want to play some Mortal Kombat. I'm like, all right, man. You always get that guy who wants to play Street Fighter, and I'm like, dude.
I mean, you always get those people that want to play Smash Brothers, and then you just tell them to shut up. So
no, I don't invite them in. I know ahead of time who the Smash Brothers fans are, and they just don't get the invite. But I can't wait to sell my Wii U. I'm upset because I haven't played it much, and and I guess we should have covered it last week, but I think Zelda got delayed until 2016.
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it got delayed. It got delayed, basically.
Yeah, it got delayed. It wasn't formally announced, but the idea was, it'll be out by holiday 2015. Yay! And then it got pushed back, and I'm like, man, I really have no reason to plug in my Wii U. It just looks nice in my my state where my TV unit is, and have the Wii U and the gamepad. I'm like, that looks cool. People are like, oh, that's neat. What is that? I'm like, that's a Wii U. It's like, wait, what? That a Wii? What, is that a controller for the Wii? I'm like, oh god, no. And then I need to go to beer. No.
And then you're like, that's why Nintendo can't sell any.
Yeah, because people don't know what it is. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that next week. We will definitely stream, and I'm looking forward to doing a joysticking with George on that one. And speaking of which, 2 new episodes of Joystick with George went up this week. One was Pool Nation FX, where I goofed around a bit with my capture kit, so my face is in it, because I'm planning to do some live streaming at some point in the future. So I've been testing out some presentations and layouts and all that stuff. So it looks neat. Spoiler warning: I don't win that often at pool. And MLB The Show, MLB 15 The Show, I did an episode there where I play Road to the Show, and I bring back Cobra Jimenez, Ryan.
Cobra Jimenez returns.
He returns. He is quite the athlete. He is quite the physical specimen. I was going
to say, is there a sport he has not conquered yet? Is there any he hasn't done?
He crushed it in UFC. And NBA, he tried. I tried using that facial recognition, and it made me look like a monster, so I had to manually change it.
Oh.
But yeah, keep an eye out for that stuff, and keep it here on the ShockCast. And Ryan, before we go, what you been playing? Before we say goodbye.
Like I said, a lot of Bloodborne. Bloodborne's been taking up a lot of my time. I've been streaming it a lot, so if you check out our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/DualShockers Live. You will probably see me playing it, usually weeknights, and I'm actually probably going to play some more tonight after we're done. So, yeah, and it's been that, and I actually just I finished, because I've been trying to play some more backlog stuff, I finished Dragon's Crown on PlayStation Vita, which was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that game a lot. It was good. And, giant boobs aside, but, whatevs. And then I also picked up, and I'm going to start Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D. Because I actually never, I'm going to be happy because I'll be able to prove 11-year-old me wrong, because I was never able to beat that game as a kid. I only played a little bit of it, and it's actually, it's interesting, because it's probably the Zelda game I know the least about, out of any of the ones that I've played. So I'm excited to kind of go into it with fresh eyes.
I've never actually played Majora's Mask. I remember it coming out, and me just, I don't know where I was in my life, where I was just I'm just not interested in this game.
Yeah, Ocarina of Time I was already pretty familiar with, so Majora I really didn't know a whole lot about. So I'm excited to kind of go into it kind of new, rather than most people who are going into this who have played it before, and get to see it again. But yeah, so that's it. It's been Bloodborne and Majora's Mask.
Yeah, I'm gonna try maybe some more Bloodborne before I officially kind of give up on it, because
I said, quit.
Yeah, before I'm just kind of I'll go back to this in a month or something. But yeah, just because there's some stuff coming out. I really want to go head first into Mortal Kombat when it comes out next week.
Yeah.
I just wrapped up Axiom Verge. Is still a really good game, which you should check out also. Like I said, if you want a good palate cleanser, definitely do Axiom Verge. And a lot of MLB The Show. I'm doing that road to the show where I'm trying to take my guy from the Atlanta Braves picked me up in the first round. So I gotta.
They're lucky to have us. So
they are lucky to have me.
All-star athlete in everything. So
yeah,
he's like Michael Jordan. He's like when Michael Jordan tried to do other sports, but he's actually good at them.
Cover Jimenez he's the Bo Jackson. All right.
Okay, I see. So sorry for my confusion. So
yeah, seriously, Ron. But yeah, keep and I think that's it. I'm tired, Ryan. So I apologize if we just seem a little out of sorts today, but we powered through. We did it. We prevailed. And Ryan, thank you so much for coming on.
No, George, thank you.
And thank you guys for watching for another fantastic parentheses sarcasm maybe.
We finished strong. We started a little shaky, but we finished strong. So
yeah, we came stumbling out of the gate, but
it's like a boss in Bloodborne when the beginning you just get your ass handed to you over and over again, but we Prey Slaughtered just appeared on the screen, and we've completed the podcast. So Podcast Slaughtered. That's the name of the episode. I've got it right there. So
I'll leave that to you, Ryan. And thank you guys again for watching. I've been George Jimenez, and that was Ryan. You can see our stuff at DualShockers.com, where I make dumb videos and Ryan reviews really bad Nintendo games.
Whoa. Okay. All right. We'll see about that.
Bye, guys.